Welcome to Across Africa, France 24's weekly roundup from across the continent. Coming up in this edition, the Nigerian capital has witnessed two recent attacks on its Christian community. A pastor was killed as she was preaching in a Muslim-majority neighborhood, and a church was burned to the ground. Moise Gomez and Rosie Collier report from the capital's Kubwa suburb. Going for gold, to meet the young Senegalese female wrestler who is hoping to make her country proud as the Olympic Games begin. And finally, we hear from a Moroccan chef who's racking up top ratings for his online cookery posts, and at just 10 years old, he's still savoring every moment. Religious violence gains the Nigerian capital. Abuja has witnessed two recent attacks on its Christian community. A pastor was killed as she was preaching in a Muslim-majority neighborhood, and a church was burned to the ground. Abuja has seen an influx of Muslim refugees fleeing Boko Haram. Moise Gomez and Rosie Collier report from the capital's Kubwa suburb.
Eunice Alawali's life was cut short by machete-wielding attackers. Her widower and 7 children are in shock. Christian pastors have come from far and wide to pay their respects and to mourn her loss. For many here, Eunice died carrying out her duty and a core tenet of the church, evangelist preaching.
She was like a sheep in the midst of lions, but she damned the consequences. And she went there to preach. She was helpless, but we give God all the glory because I know she's rejoicing. Heaven is celebrating her now.
Christians and Muslims have lived side by side in Kubwa for years, but a recent influx of Muslims fleeing Boko Haram has tipped the religious balance. It is now more common to hear Hausa, the lingua franca of the north, spoken than it is English. Muslim elders are aware that radical Islam could infiltrate here and are trying to counter it.
Whenever we notice there are new incoming, we try to meet them wherever they are, to tell them how far we have come from in terms of peace within the Kubwa community.
Nigeria's main Christian body has criticized the government for not immediately condemning the recent spate of attacks. Prominent politicians attended the funeral.
The federal government, the law agencies will leave no stone unturned to find these people and bring them to justice.
For many here, though, who've lost a colleague and a friend, such words come too late. Many Christians feel that more needs to be done to protect their religious freedom.
All aboard for a railway revival. Nigeria inaugurated its first high-speed train line linking the capital Abuja to Kaduna, 185 kilometers to the north. The country had a thriving railway network until the 1980s, when drastic cuts and aging infrastructure left tracks and trains in disrepair. Our team gives us a tour on board Nigeria's newest locomotive.
The journey between Kaduna and Abuja has just become much smoother. When the train operator announced free journeys for test runs, hundreds of people took up the offer. For these passengers, the comfort of Nigeria's brand new train is a far cry from the country's notoriously dangerous roads.
The train is a welcome development to Nigeria, and the north in particular is a great achievement for us. And flying the train is safer and much easier and more friendly than the roads.
At the inauguration ceremony at Abuja's main train station, Nigerian and Chinese flags flew side by side. Almost all of the infrastructure and technology used in building the new railway have been imported from China.
So through the China Exim Bank, we're able to raise funds to be able to construct the infrastructure. The essence is just to have this infrastructure put in place. Over time, Nigerian government will pay back. The plan is, can this infrastructure pay back? If it's not possible that it can pay all, then the government can come in at any point in time and make sure that we meet up with our commitments.
Most of the workers hired by the Chinese construction firm for the projects are Nigerian. Many of them have received training to ensure they can keep the trains and tracks running in the years to come.
When we complete the works, we still have the training course for before the operation for different systems like the buildings, like the truck works, and the signal and communication systems.
Thousands more Nigerians will be employed to help modernize the Calabar to Lagos line in the coming months. Once completed, more passengers and produce will be able to move safely across Africa's most populous nation.
Pushing for change in South Africa, the Democratic Alliance is hoping to upset the political balance on August 3rd. The opposition party is neck and neck in polls with the historic ANC in several cities across the country, including in Johannesburg. Our reporters there spent the day with mayoral candidate Herman Mashaba, who's aiming to replace his ANC rival.
Herman Mashaba lives in one of Johannesburg's wealthiest suburbs. He's a self-made millionaire with business interests in mining and cosmetics. Mashaba, who grew up poor, only decided to go into politics 2 years ago. He's now the mayoral candidate for Johannesburg.
I've made it abundantly clear I'm not in this game to steal people's money. For me, this project is about saving South Africa. It's about, it's a referendum against ANC and Jacob Zuma. That if we South Africans are not going to use Johannesburg to stop this rot, then my country's in trouble.
He says corruption in government was his main motivation to support the opposition. And he's working hard to be elected. He leaves home at 8 every morning to start campaigning. On this day, Mashaba's message was about the expense of toll roads. His party, the DA, has promised to drop them should they come to power.
E-tolls are the enemies of social inclusion. E-tolls perpetuate the exclusion of the poor, the very people who need to be mobile to pull themselves out of poverty.
His followers are convinced that change is possible.
I'm telling you, there is going to be a change. I got that in my blood, I feel it in my blood. Now my blood have changed, it's blue now.
Okay.
In the last 6 months, Mashaba has hardly been to his office. Politics seem to be more demanding than business.
You work in this difficult environment, and how do you measure political success? Whereas here, every single day, I can know whether I'm making money or not. So easy business to run. But I believe privileged human beings like myself, we have that responsibility.
He's confident he can deliver on his promises, and job creation is #1 on his list. More than 30% of Johannesburg's population is unemployed. He's counting on the support of small businesses.
So we're asking people of Johannesburg, give us the 5 years, and if we let you down, punish us, don't give us a second chance.
To win the capital city from the ruling party won't be easy. But for this millionaire who turned poverty into prosperity, anything is possible.
Getting ready for Rio, Isabelle Sambou will be carrying Senegal's flag at the opening Olympics ceremony next week. An honor for the 9-time wrestling champion. Sambou will be fighting for gold during the Games. But back home, she fights every day to win respect in her male-dominated field.
Senegalese wrestler Isabelle Sambou is a force to be reckoned with. 9-time African champion, she's preparing for Rio, where she'll take on the best in the world. But as a sportswoman, she's had to fight off the mat too, against tradition and discrimination.
In any sport, when you're a woman, they bother you. They say it's not good. I've heard it all. I was even told you'll become like a man. No one will marry you because you'll look like a man.
Senegal's Olympic hope has been training in Thiès, in the west of the country, where she follows an intense schedule, jogging every morning, followed by 3 training sessions every day. She's preparing to compete in the 48-kilogram freestyle event at the Games.
She's the most experienced fighter at the Olympics. She's participated in many tournaments, the biggest competitions. She came 5th at the London Olympics, so she meets the criteria to be able to win a medal, perhaps even a gold medal.
Isabelle can count on the support of her younger sister, who shares a modest room with her at the wrestling centre in Thiès. But it's her last chance of an Olympic medal. After this year, the athlete plans to become a coach and train other women like her, battling both for gold and respect in a male-dominated sport.
And finally, we hear from a Moroccan chef who found his passion early in life. 10-year-old Omar is racking up top ratings for his online cooking posts. For him, it's a passion that comes with its challenges, but he's still savoring every moment. Our correspondents in Casablanca met with the budding chef.
It's market day in Casablanca, Morocco. Omar and his mother are out shopping. This 10-year-old chef suffers from myopathy, a rare disease that attacks the muscles. To help stimulate his motor skills, Omar's parents have been taking him to cookery classes. Today he's cooking a tagine crumble with caramelized tomatoes.
Almost everyone knows how to make a crumble, so I thought, why not add some Moroccan spices?
Omar loves to experiment with his dishes, especially with the mixture of sweet and savory.
Now that we're done with the shopping, let's cook.
The young food lover has taken full advantage of social media. His video channel, Chef Omar, now has over 2,000 subscribers. Every week, his mother helps him film and publish video guides to his recipes.
I'm going to make a recipe that I really love, apple crumble. Okay, let's begin. First, we put the apples in. Assistant, please, can you help me?
The partnership of Omar and his mother has proved to be a winning one. He says that his determination continues to grow along with the number of his followers.
And now, let's add some orange blossoms. It helps me overcome my handicap.
How?
Because people send me nice messages. It helps me get over my disability.
And it gives you confidence?
Yep. Mum, look how many new followers I have.
Wow.
Thanks to the rigors of cooking, Omar has significantly improved his movement. It's all to the admiration of his biggest fan, his mother.
That's it from us here on Across Africa. Do stay tuned. There's more news coming up on France 24.